Hi, my name is Juliette Ferguson. I go by Jette, and I'm here interviewing Jeff McMullen. He's the go-to guy. He's the go-to lender I send our buyers to. He's actually my personal lender for our refinance. And we're just going to ask him a few questions, and I can guarantee you that he has no idea what I'm going to ask. We like to mess with him that way.
Okay.
Okay, Jeff, so I just thought it would be fun because we have a lot of first-time buyers right now, looking in Seaside, Pacific Grove, Monterey especially, and we've got one I haven't even told you about that I'm referring to that's doing a VA loan, which is a little bit confusing to some people. Can you explain that process?
So VA loans are a little bit different. In some cases, they don't require down payment. In other cases, they require a lot of down payment. They have different credit qualifications and different income qualifications.
Okay.
We've been lucky enough to do more VA loans in the county than anybody in the last 2 years, which has been fun.
I know it's been easier doing VA loans with you for some reason than through the banks. Don't know why, but you actually get them closed.
So they're different than a conventional loan, and the qualifications are different. And I think if you don't have someone that's done it for a long time, it really becomes difficult to make it work. There's not a lot different, but there's enough different that if you miss it bad.
Right, and then I think with VA loans, everything's always negotiable on the contracts, right? Even with VA loans, they simply can't pay for the pest inspection.
Pest inspection, and in some cases they can't pay for the repair, so it just depends on...
And see, that's a challenge I'm finding. I don't know if you remember a couple years ago, military clients tried to, mine clients bought the house on Reservation Road.
Okay.
VA loan fell out. Anyway, it ended up being an FHA loan. But anyway,
Gotcha.
It was saved. And so it's a little bit of a challenge when, yes, it's negotiable to do the work, but how does somebody do the work if they don't own the house yet? And why would they want to put $15,000 in before they own the house?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't let my buyers do that.
Absolutely. The majority of the time, the pest work is paid for by the seller.
Right. Okay. And that's exactly what I advise buyers as well. How about FHA loans? So 3.5%, still the same as always.
Yeah, so the difference between an FHA loan and a VA loan is there's a down payment requirement no matter what, and there's mortgage insurance, which, so apples to apples, an FHA loan is going to be probably, $300 to $400 more a month because of that, the mortgage insurance.
And the PMI is what they call it sometimes, and that is to protect the lender. Why don't you explain what that is, because this is going to go to first-time buyers.
Okay, so mortgage insurance is required typically anytime you put less than 20% down. That's the basic rule. There's a few products and programs out there that can make mortgage insurance not a monthly payment, but we have to kind of go over those specifically. So that's a whole long conversation. What the short answer is banks feel like there's more risk with less than 20% down, and because there's more risk, they charge insurance, right? And so when you're paying mortgage insurance, it's not mortgage insurance for you, you're literally paying insurance for the bank.
And it kind of just goes down the drain, right?
It does. It's typically not tax deductible, but it's kind of a lot of times it's, if you only have 3.5% down, or if that's what you can get, which is a lot in our area, then this is the way you get in.
Okay, tell me about this. FHA loans and VA loans. Some areas of the country, they don't buy very much of a house. Well, they buy more of a house because it's less expensive. But here, we have a special Monterey County higher rate. So what is the loan now? 600 and something, right?
Yeah, it's about 615. So
615.
You can buy a lot more house with that.
So what kind of house would you buy with a VA loan? It'd have to be about 610K or 600K with a VA loan? Or
that's if you're doing 100% financing, but you can go above that with a VA loan, and you can actually use a down payment. So we've had clients who bought, I've got a client right now who's buying a $850,000 house and has to put down a very minimal amount because it's a VA loan. In fact, he's putting less than 7% down on a VA loan, and he's going to have no mortgage insurance.
No mortgage. That's what I love about VA loans, no mortgage insurance.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a veteran, in my opinion, and in the VA's opinion, you've earned it.
Go Marines! That's for my husband.
Right.
But we work with all military divisions.
Yes, ma'am. All military.
I'm sending you a really cool Navy client very soon. He's on the ship right now, but he's going to buy a house. VA loan, up to $750K.
Yes, ma'am.
He's got some cash.
Okay.
So that's good. What else? You know, what I've been hearing, I think from you and your team, Jeff McMullen team, Team Jette team at Sotheby's, Jeff McMullen team at Cal Financial.
Yes, ma'am.
So, your team has been telling me that they're seeing lower conventional loans, like 3%. Is that true?
There's some qualifications. A lot of times those are what we call income capped, meaning you have to make a certain amount or make under a certain amount, which does kind of, it limits them a little bit, but it does allow 3% down in some cases. Still have mortgage insurance, but because it's because it's considered a community reinvestment loan or a low to moderate income loan, you also get less mortgage insurance than you pay with a conventional loan.
Oh,
and there's also there's some cool little quirks. There are some streets within Monterey County that if you're buying a house on that street, because it's an underserved project, that you can use that product even if you're not under the income cap.
Oh, interesting.
So we should talk about that.
We should definitely talk about that. Or on video next time.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's see what else, because I've got first-time buyer questions all the time. So we always recommend inspections. Don't ever work with anybody that tells you not to do an inspection. You do your inspections as long as you need to.
Yes, ma'am.
It is a competitive market, so you will be pushed, but you're going to always want to do your home and pest inspection. If the seller already did it and the agent that you're talking to knows and recommends, it says it's a it's a great same inspector I would use, then that might be no problem to use that inspection. But it's really the general contractor that will call out the other things. So mirror home inspections is one of the general contractors and home inspectors that we have had just like Jeff McMullen at Cal Financial, our clients tell us who they want to work with. So Paul Mirror Home Inspections, our clients are happy with them, very detailed. Inspects the heck out of the house, so you're going to know what's up before you buy it.
Absolutely.
So anyway, how about other ideas? Do you have any other ideas before we wrap it up of questions that your first-time buyers are asking? Because they're probably not all my clients. You probably have other first-time buyers.
One or two. So I think the most important thing for a first-time home buyer is to get pre-approved and pre-qualified right away. I think it's important to sit down with the lender, whether it's myself or somebody else, and find out really what you qualify for, what your payments are going to be before you start looking, right? So it may be that you qualify for a $500,000-$600,000 house, but you really want a payment that's a $400,000 or $500,000 house. And so it's important to know that before you start shopping, because there's nothing worse than going to find something that you really love and finding out that it's way over your budget and it's just a bad experience.
You're right, and I think that's another reason I like referring people to Jeff McMullen, because he's very similar in liking to protect the consumer like I am. I am extremely conservative when it comes to other people's money.
That's right.
And I like to remind them of my own experience being a first-time buyer, that I thankfully bought a house for about $150,000 less than what we qualified for, because yes, they would give us the money to buy a house that cost more, but I was not comfortable with those payments.
Yeah. And
thankfully, we still have our house.
Right. Really important to make sure you have a family budget and to talk about those numbers. That's something that we try to talk about at every appointment with a new client. This is, what payments can you afford? What payments do you want to be making? Because the truth is we can qualify you for more than necessarily you need.
Right. And and it could go both ways. Some people will have the vision that they want the $1 million house, but they're more comfortable with the $800,000 house. But sometimes it's the reverse. You'll have first-time buyers shopping for, $500,000-$600,000 houses, and they think that the payment's only $2,000 a month.
Correct.
So that is why I agree with you 100% there. Talk to the lender first. And I recommend Jeff McMullen. I think it's obvious since I'm interviewing him.
I think it makes sense too when you are pre-approved. Then it gives Jette something to shoot for. I think a lot of the
find the right house.
Yeah, a lot of the benefit with working with someone like Jette is that she has a huge network of realtors, right? A lot of people know who she is, and so a lot of times she'll know about listings that are coming on the market.
We have 5,
right? But
nobody knows about yet
before they hit the market.
Right.
And so in a competitive market where we don't have a lot of inventory, it's important to have an agent who knows other agents and who can get things done.
Right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate that. Okay, I think we're going to sign off. I'm very excited because you are the first video for our blog on, well, you could find it through our website. Quite haven't figured out how to do it, but it's under Juliette Ferguson on YouTube.
Okay.
We will figure out how to upload it tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
All right.
thank you. Signing off.